Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Mocktail Minutes. This is Bailey.
And this is Brianna.
This week, I am drinking a Ryl tea. I drank one of these before, but I saw they had the Morgan Wallen ones. I thought it was like a flavor, like a Morgan Wallen flavor. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe it's blueberry or something. It's just like tea, but like Morgan Wallen endorsed it.
that's funny. I would have thought it was like his favorite flavor or something. I don't.
I thought it was gonna be like, I mean, it's blue, so I was expecting blueberry or I don't know. But yeah, it's just tea. And the tagline is tastes like Tennessee. So
That's funny.
it's fun.
Um, I'm drinking a culture pop. Have you had one of these on here before?
No, I've never heard of those.
So Victor, he was at Walmart and he was like, "Oh, you should try this one. It says it's like a fizzy, gutsy probiotic soda." It's, I don't really know really how much of a probiotic soda it is. So it has like water. It doesn't have any added sugar, but it does have fruit from concentrate, and we're going to get into that today. And then it's like last ingredient is live probiotic, like a live strain. So I don't know how amazing it is for your gut, but it tastes decent.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'd get it all the time, but I mean if you want something carbonated, it's fine.
Mm. Every time I'll have to look and see if I find those. I have not seen them. But whenever I think about these probiotic sodas or the prebiotic sodas, I think there's prebiotic ones. Yeah. Pro or
Yeah.
prebiotic drinks. I always think about the Poppy lawsuit that came out and they're like, this is not actually gut health. I'm like, I mean, they're not claiming to cure you. Anything with fiber is technically like gut supportive.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Kumbacha's over there, like being quiet. Like, oh,
Yeah. Like, don't look at my added sugars.
I got it. Yeah, this one it doesn't say like, and it doesn't have any claims. It just says fizzy and gutsy probiotic soda. So yeah, I know. And then everyone now thinks like Poppy is like horrible. I'm like, no, it's just somebody got mad at the claims on their can, which I didn't think were that bad out of alignment with what it's doing.
I mean, if it has fiber, it's going to be a prebiotic. Fiber
Yeah.
is a prebiotic. Like, that's just it. If it has cultures in it, then yeah, it's a probiotic. Even though we don't know how much, I mean, it's still going to obviously have something. But yeah, I think it's weird to expect any one thing to like cure you.
Yeah, exactly. I just like think of like all the other sodas out there doing it or like
Yeah.
just triple checking all their labels. Be like, dang it, are we next? Yeah. But yeah, it's just a fun drink. So don't take it too seriously. I guess if you're really worried about your gut health, I probably wouldn't start here.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't.
That's
So
not our expertise. I mean, we can help you, but the gut is so crazy. We're actually having a gut health expert come on in like 2 weeks. I think
yeah.
episode for you in 2 weeks, and we're gonna be myth busting all the gut health things. And part of it is talking about probiotics, and it's from one of our favorite dietitians. We'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, we won't tell you, but it's going to be a good one. And that is definitely where you should get a lot of your gut health information from. Because, yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy world out there
Yeah,
for gut health.
basics and the foundational parts, but your gut just like determines everything in your body. So that's why
Yeah.
we have people like bleep.
This person. I know. I love it. I'm fascinated with it, but it's so overwhelming that I'm like, I don't think I can go down this rabbit hole and have this be
Not for
like
me.
what I focus on. No,
Yeah.
I'll leave it to them.
Anyways, today we're talking about juicing. I feel like this is popular, especially in the summertime, but also in the changing seasons. So a lot of times when we're going to fall, people are looking for weight loss because it's like we came off of summer was wild, let's get this going. So that's a season change, or it's like after the holidays, another season change because it's busy time, or then again, like getting ready for summer or getting ready for spring break, whatever it is. I feel like juicing becomes popular because there is a lot of marketing, I would say, around it, but a lot of it has to do with the marketing, I think, just being around detoxing. And I would say it's promoted as like a weight loss type thing a lot of times.
Mhm.
We're gonna give you the down low, the DL.
Of what we think about juicing I'll just start with this. Not all juice is created equal. I think when I think about juicing as it's typically referred to, I don't love it. But I do think you can incorporate juice to get some nutrients, and that's totally fine. But again, not all juice is created equal. So there's different types. There's cold press and concentrate. I feel like those are your main ones. So there might be other ones, but we'll just do those. Cold press, it's going to retain more of your nutrients. So it's also the more expensive one. It's usually the ones in the cold section. They do have them in like the regular juice section, but these are more fresh. They're going to have a ton more nutrients. The juice from concentrate, it's going to leave out a lot of what you think you're getting from juice. Like when you like get it and you see all these like fruits and vegetables in it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many vitamins and minerals. Not so much because it removes fiber, it removes vitamins, it does remove minerals, and then it goes through a heating process and that destroys some of the heat sensitive vitamins like pure vitamin C. So when it's like great source of vitamin C, like yeah, those fruits and vegetables are, but the content of vitamin C in that might not be as great as you think it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what we were talking about with the poppies. The labeling, it can be a little misleading sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But with juicing, I actually have a juicer. I've never used it. I'm debating getting rid of it because I'm like, it's kind of a lot of work and I'm not really a big juice person. I will get juices like fresh ones from these local places around me, but I
Mm-hmm.
keep it like with a meal, or I've sometimes done it for like a pre-workout, and that's kind of good times to do it. Where, I mean, we'll get into this, but good times to do it. So I mean, benefits of juicing, they can be nutrient dense, especially if you're eating the cold press, because it's going to retain more of those vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants. So it can be a concentrated form of those, which is nice. And then the other thing that comes with juicing is that it is easy to digest because, I mean, it's kind of like it's already digested. And so
That's
it's,
broken down.
yeah, it's like already broken down, the fibers removed, and then it can be quickly absorbed by the body. So that's why you could use it as like a pre-workout type of drink to fuel your muscles. And in the summer, I think it also gets popular because it is a hydrator. Juices, especially coming from fruit that's higher in water content, like watermelon or like a cucumber, that's going to help keep you hydrated, and it gives you something different than water. And then, kind of on the flip side, things to consider, the sugar content in them.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've talked in our sugar episode before that like sugar is not, we got a thumbs up on the Zoom. Sugar is not like the sugar in fruit is not the same as like the sugar we're having from cake.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of, it's another fear thing that's around on social media that we should avoid fruit because it has all the sugar. I don't think that. But when you're juicing things, especially your fruit juice, this can be high in sugar, which is going to impact your blood sugar levels. And that's because you're stripping it of the fiber. And if that's all you're drinking, yeah, I mean, it's going to be broken down to sugar. That's what, with all things. When
Yeah.
we talk about the blood sugar roller coaster, oftentimes I think we can automatically just think about gummy worms or candy. And so everyone's like, I don't really eat that much sugar, but any carbohydrate is going to break down to sugar.
Mm-hmm.
But you also can't tell me a blueberry is the same thing as a gummy worm.
No, because the blueberry has vitamins and minerals in it. It does have fiber in it if it's in its normal form. So it's very different. They're not created equal. Like that's just the reality of it. They might all break down to the same kind of basic structure, but you're getting more from the fruit than you're getting from candy. And that's one thing, like I would say, if you really like juice, be strategic. Like I'd probably splurge on the higher nutrient juice. I would use it maybe before a workout, like you were saying. That would be a great pre workout, especially if you have a hard time eating things. Like if you're working out in the morning, some juice can be great. You can use it if you like live in a really hot place and you're outside and you're working. Having some like juice would be a great idea because it's going to replenish like some of your electrolytes. It's going to help you absorb your electrolytes better because you need sugar to do that. So it's a good option. If you are juicing at home, if yours has the one where it like separates the pulp, which I think they all do, but I don't know if it like, I know all juicers are a little bit different. I would say put the pulp back in or some of it mix it up, have it that way. So at least you're getting some of the fiber, like just being strategic about when you have it. Like I probably wouldn't have a big giant glass of juice, even if it was like a good cold press one by itself in the middle of the day when I'm sitting down watching TV doing nothing. Right. So you could be strategic about it, just like you could be strategic about everything else. But yeah, time and place.
You mentioned fiber too. So part of that, when you're taking out the fiber, like I mentioned, the blood sugar balance, but it's also when you take out that fiber, you're not going to be as satisfied with that. So I've seen a lot of companies promote like the detoxes or a juice cleanse where it's like you're just drinking juice all day long for a week or whatever. I mean, you're probably going to be super hungry, but also if you're just like filling up on juice, you could potentially like gain weight with it, even though you're just eating fruits and veggies, but
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting that fullness factor because you're not really getting in protein, you're not really getting in fiber, you're not getting in fat, which are all things that help keep you full. So it can be easy to overdo it. Not to say you're just going to gain all this weight in a week, but I mean, if you do this often, yeah, it can be an easy way to be adding up extra calories that maybe you don't necessarily need, and they're just kind of running through you essentially.
Yeah, well, that and then you have like the rebound thing, right? So, you haven't eaten for a couple of days, you're surviving off juice, it is high sugar, but then also you get off the juice and you're hungry and you end up eating more than you would. And then it's just like rinse and repeat, which it's just like, that's not really serving you. You're going to be hungry. I've juiced before. And the worst thing about it is it's so freaking expensive.
Yes,
It's like,
that's
I
the
could
thing.
have just starved myself for free.
Yeah, because you need like such a large amount of produce to make such a small amount of juice. I always think of like the naked juices when you look at it, and it's like an apple, two servings of strawberries, like a three banana, whatever it is. I'm just like
Like, that's a
making
lot for this like little bottle. I'm like, that's a lot.
oh, and you drink it and you're like, oh, look at me. I just got like 8 different fruits in. But I mean, drinking that juice versus if you were to actually eat those is going to feel very different. And that's why you can drink it and you're like, oh, that was good. And I could probably drink a few more. Where if you actually had an apple, a banana, 2 mangoes, 15 strawberries, or whatever they're putting in it, you're probably going to feel a lot fuller.
Exactly. Which kind of leads into the next thing. One reason why drinking a lot of juice or juicing or relying on it for weight loss might not be great is it can cause a lot of GI upset and really like diarrhea. So I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, they lost weight because number one, they're not eating. And then number two, they're a little dehydrated because they've been like pooping their brains out from all this like juice, which is crazy to me because the majority of people that I know that ask me, what do you think about juicing are people who like would never go grab an apple and eat it. Like they're terrified of the apple, but the juicing is okay. I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, well, maybe because you're sitting on the toilet for a week, which I don't recommend.
And see, I have the opposite where I have a lot of more health conscious people who are really focused on their nutrition that are interested in juicing because of a lot of times it's because they're going to these places that are making their own juices. So they see it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to like the claims of the detoxing, this is what gets everyone. Detox is like a buzzword, but
Oh yeah.
really, detoxing is just removing toxins from the body. And your body does this. Like your body has to do this to keep you alive. So this is the role that your liver primarily plays, but also like your kidneys, your lungs, your skin. All of them help to eliminate waste and toxins from your body. So when thinking about like juicing for detoxing, I mean, there's not a lot of evidence that it's the juicing itself. What it really could be is maybe the nutrients. You're getting more of those vitamins and minerals and antioxidants when you're including those versus not including those. You're also probably hydrating a little bit better, especially if you're getting those high water content fruits in. You're increasing your fruits and vegetables. So again, you're getting more of those nutrients. And then, I mean, it could probably provide you with some digestive rest because you're not really having to put a lot of work into digest it and absorb it. It's already really broken down.
Mhm.
So, I mean, those are ways that it could potentially have like a detoxing effect on it. But at the end of the day, you don't necessarily need to do a detox program if your liver and your lungs and your kidneys and I mean, your skin working? If all those things are
Okay.
working, you
Mhm.
can detox and you should be detoxing every day, all day.
Yeah. Well, and my thing too with detoxing, and this isn't so much with juice, but I see this a lot with a lot of different supplements and stuff like that. Like everything that we do is filtered by, it goes through the liver and it's filtered by the kidneys. And so just stop putting so much strain
Mm-hmm.
on those organs, like drink a little bit, have some more water, lay off the alcohol, lay off a lot of the highly processed stuff, give it like some, don't be over supplementing. Like I think juicing just feels nice and light. And so it feels like, oh, good, I'm detoxing, I'm getting rid of all this stuff. But yeah, daily you're already doing that. And usually I see a lot of extremes too. It's like people are like an all or nothing, and it's like either they're juicing or they're like going out on the weekend and having like 5 cocktails in a sitting. So it's like we could we could work in some cold pressed juice, get some more nutrients, and we can also not do this and then give our body like an easier time. But yeah, like we're detoxing every day. We have to. We would die.
Yeah, and exactly like you said, especially if you're going from one extreme to the other, like you're either juicing or you're downing margaritas all weekend, you are going to feel better because you're not putting a poison basically in your body. You're getting more of those vitamins and minerals. So, not to say that you won't feel different, but at the end of the day, you probably are going to have some stomach upset. You're probably going to be really hungry. You're probably going to end up overeating on day 3 of your juicing. You're
Yeah.
probably going to be pretty tired, I would say. You're going to have blood sugar spikes. You might have some mood swings with that. So, a lot of things can come with it. So, again, not to say that juicing is bad, we just have to use it in a way that benefits us. So, yeah, use it for a pre workout, do it with a meal. Watch how much you're doing. Like, I wouldn't do 2 cups at one time because it could be a lot of quick digesting carbohydrates at once, and you may not need that many. So, those are
Yeah.
just some things to consider. And then the other thing I would say, like, thinking about smoothies versus juicing, not the same way. Both can help you get in your fruits and vegetables, but in terms of like nutrition and their benefits, they are, I would say, different because, I mean, like I said, both of them, you're going to get nutrients, but the difference with a smoothie, you're going to retain that fiber
Mm-hmm.
because it's not going anywhere. Like everything you put in your blender, you're drinking. Like it's not coming out. And I had the question before is like, do smoothies take out the fiber? I mean, yes and no, but like it's not leaving the blender. You're still getting it.
Yeah.
Your blender is breaking it down. So I think that's where some confusion can happen is your fibers being broken down so your body doesn't necessarily have to work as hard to digest that. And I think that's where some people see where smoothies don't keep them full as long. So it could be that, or it can also be if you're just doing a fruit smoothie and you don't have any protein, you don't have any fat, that's also why it's not keeping you full. But the fiber that stays in it is actually what kind of gives smoothies that thicker type texture.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not really losing it, it's just broken down compared
Yeah.
if you were to bite into an apple type of thing or
Yeah.
whole strawberry.
It's just like bypassing one of the digestion steps, right? Like digestion starts in your mouth when you're chewing. That's one of the first ways that we start breaking down our food, and you're blending it. So you don't necessarily need to do that. And so, yeah, it's your body's not working as hard. And yeah, I think that's why people sometimes like feel hungry, or they feel like I don't feel fulfilled unless I'm chewing my food. I get that a lot. So this is where I'm like, well, make it a little bit thicker. Don't blend it as much. Maybe like an acai bowl type like texture if you really kind of like to chew, or add some crunch to it. But yeah, I get that question a lot. I was getting it a lot when that one viral TikTok was going around where it's like, if you blend a banana, like you're getting 5 times the amount of sugar. I'm like, what? No, what do you think our teeth are doing? Like to the fruit? It was, so I had to like really talk some people off the ledge with that. But You could, if you wanted to, if you have like a juice you really love, you can add some juice to your smoothie. Like that's something that you can do to make it a little more tropical, right? Obviously, being mindful of the other stuff you're putting in your smoothie because the juice does have the sugar and the carbs. But yeah, pick whichever one works for you. You could also use like juice. I like to do some cold pressed juice sometimes, like in my mineral mocktail, especially if it's like high in vitamin C. It is, it's a whole food form of vitamin C. It helps you absorb those minerals. So it could be strategic. I think juice is like really demonized, especially like in the mom world. I meet so many who are like, oh, we don't allow juice in our house. I'm like, okay.
And there's a
All right.
difference between like a fruit punch and like, I mean, especially if you're juicing from home, but like 100% juice. There are differences. So, I mean, take a peek at your labels. But if you're deciding like which is better, because at the end of the day, we have never said, or I don't think either of us believe, that one food is off limits or anything. Every single food can fit into your diet. You just have to figure out where it fits. So, thinking of just like juicing compared to smoothies, do a juice if you want something quick and nutrient dense. Add it to a snack, add it to a meal, use it as that pre workout. You could do it if you're looking for something a little bit easier to digest. Again, I wouldn't do it by itself, but it can ease the stomach a little bit. Like if maybe you're having some stomach upset, you just need to chill. Like that can be a good way to get those whole food vitamin C in when you're like recovering from an illness. And then, I mean, you're going to get that concentrated form of those vitamin minerals. And then smoothies would like a snack, or you can do it as a meal. You're wanting to get in fiber, protein, and healthy fats, and you want it to be more of like a sustained energy source. So that's kind of the difference between those. But also, like I said, smoothies, you're going to retain those nutrients. Nothing fell out of the blender. I think that's an easy way to remember it.
Yeah. And I would say like that would be a hierarchy, right? Like if you're really focused on getting like your vitamins and minerals from fruit and you like want or vegetables and you're trying to like do it in a more strategic way, smoothie is going to be number one because you're
Mhm.
getting the whole fruit, the whole vegetable. I would say number two would be the juice you're making at home, especially if you could add back in the pulp. Or number three would be the cold pressed juice. So those would be like my top three. I would probably skip anything that's like juice from concentrate. That'd probably be the one that I wouldn't spend my money on. If you, yeah, just personally, if I'm trying to go for it with like, I want vitamins, minerals, I want like a good nutrient rich juice. And no, don't spend $250 on an expensive juicing company to send you juice
Yeah.
for your detox.
Maybe I'll try my juicer this summer. It's so big and it's just going to take a lot of work and it's just going to take a lot of produce. Like, I really don't. And like, once you make it, I feel like if you make a large amount, it's not going to be good for a long time. Like, then I have to drink a bunch of juice and I don't drink a bunch of juice. So it just seems like more work.
I feel like they're cumbersome to clean, which would make sense because you have to clean all
Yes.
the parts. You're like going through.
It's like breast pumps.
I'm Yeah. Oh yeah, you're not in a season where you're like, you know what, I want to clean this and that. I want to clean bottles and I want to clean a juicer.
I'm just going to stick to my smoothies. We're doing good there.
Yeah, those are simple enough.
Yeah. By the way, on smoothies, for like fiber and everything, if you put apples or pears in your smoothies, you can keep the skin on that and you're getting even more fiber because that's where a
Yep.
lot of your fiber is.
Mhm.
And
That's one reason why I like the smoothies is because you can just blend it all up. Like same with kiwis, cucumbers, you just throw it in.
strawberries, you can actually eat the leaves on strawberries. But yeah, I think that is a good summary of juicing. Again, it's not a bad thing, just some awareness around it. And you don't have to waste your money on these super expensive juices. Like I said, I will sometimes do it. I like to find local places that it's usually better quality. Some of the store brand ones are pretty good, but just use it strategically
Oh,
if you enjoy them. Also, don't like gag on a juice.
that's again expensive.
It's an expensive gag. We don't want to do that.
You could just, yeah.
I will take that back. Sometimes I do get ones with like ginger and turmeric and like celery for when I'm getting sick, and I do gag on those. But
It's for a cause.
yeah, it's for your cause.
Yeah, no, I get it too. Like the ginger ones, or it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that
It's like 3 times a year that I would do. That's not something I'm doing like every week.
yeah, or like those little immunity shots. They're not. No one's like, oh, I'm so excited to drink this. No, it's usually just like down the hatch.
All right, everyone. I hope you stuck with us and you learned a few things about juicing, and let us know other topics you want us to cover. Also, we are discussing taking a girls trip. So if you have any ideas about good girls trip locations, probably like, I don't know, 3-day places, let us know.
Yeah, I know we need to meet in person, travel. I'm still trying to figure out like, can I write it off as a business expense?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm like business expense for continuing education.
Yes. Networking. I mean, we could
Yeah.
make mocktail minutes. We could make this a business.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about business, if we're
We're
doing
selling.
content, if we record together,
Yeah.
perfect.
And if we got our
Yeah.
t-shirts going, we honestly, guys, we don't monetize our podcast. Like there are ways you can, like we could add ads. We do not make any money from our podcasting. So we
No.
literally just do this because this is our dopamine hit and we enjoy doing it. And
Mhm.
I love when I get messages and people are like, oh my gosh, this episode helped me so much. Or I'm struggling with this. Do you have an episode for me? And a lot of times we do, but sometimes we don't. And then we just record one for you.
I love it. I know, like any business coach would be like, what are you guys doing? Stop it. And we're like, no, we're not. But maybe in the future, but yeah, this is just us because we enjoy it.
We probably should.
Yeah, we should.
Us. So maybe we'll get into that, but we will never make this filled with ads or anything. You just get to hear us ramble. I don't know.
Mhm.
We'll see what the future holds. Anyways, let us know girls trip places. Let us know what you want to hear about next. I think our next episodes are going to be starting our series on work-life balance. We both put a poll up on our feeds, and that one won by like far. So
Oh, like a lamp. Yeah. The
okay.
work-life balance, which I'm excited for because
I'm trying to figure
I
it
mean,
out for myself. It's new now.
yeah, right. So yeah, we got you. So that'll be good. It'll be at least like what, 3 parts?
Yeah. I'd say 3, maybe 4. We'll see what we map out. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening this week's episode, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.